I was flying back from New Orleans to London Heathrow a few weeks ago, and we ended up having our flight delayed by about 2 hours, which meant that a whole lot of folks who had connecting flights missed them. And as a result, there were some unexpected layovers. Now, I had already planned. I had an earlier flight that was canceled, so I already had a 9-hour layover. And a fellow who was sitting in the next row from me ended up being delayed by about 7. So we said, okay, we've got time here. Why don't we just chill out, grab a coffee? Maybe the conversation's interesting. And so we ended up having about 7 hours in T5 at Heathrow. And we ended up talking about all sorts of silliness, but it turns out that he's a newscaster for the Swedish media. And in the course of our conversation, I learned one of my new favorite words. And for those of you who are Swedish, feel free to correct me or, give me a high five if I get this right. But the word that I learned is ordbajseri or ordbajsa, which essentially means word poopery. It's the equivalent of our verbal diarrhea. And what we were discussing was how frustrating it can be when we either catch ourselves or other people trying to fill in so much words with either ums and whatevers because we're not clear, or with so much fluff because we don't believe that the content of what we're saying is worthy to stand on its own. We think we have to dress it up somehow and put it in fancy feathers and a peacock costume in order for it to be worthy of being heard. Now, I can't tell you how many times I've experienced that feeling when I'm preparing for a client presentation or a pitch or whatever it might be, and I'm recognizing that what I'm trying to show, which I believe in a whole bunch, I'm trying to puff it up. I'm trying to, like a bird fluffs up their feathers, trying to make it look bigger and better than it actually is. And in those moments, that word poopery sneaks in because we think we need to validate something. When in all honesty, what we need to do is pause and ask ourselves if we believe that this is a worthy topic to share and discuss. Then what am I missing about what is true and real about it that I'm not expressing clearly? And a lot of times that's just us slowing down a little bit and saying, why is this so important to me? Why do I believe that this is valuable? And this is where it's about getting outside of our own ego. Where is it valuable for the person that I'm talking to? Because when we're just trying to validate our position, we end up having word poopery all over the place, right? Because we're trying to make it valid enough for someone else. But in all honesty, why do we want to share with this person? If I want to present something to a client or if I'm pitching, why do I feel like this topic, this idea, this concept, this product is valid for that person? Not just why do I feel like it's important for me? They don't care. We care about what's for us, and we care about then sharing the things that are important. But if we put in that last part of why do I believe it's important for them, it steps us back out of our own little ego bubble, and it makes us realize that we don't need to fluff and fill, but instead that what we're talking about can stand on its own. So, where in your life do you have places, conversations that you find yourself using a whole lot of ordbajseri, word poopery, and where can you slow down a little bit and ask yourself, what do I need to be more clear? And what do I need to connect better and be more aware of the person that's on the other side of this conversation to make this meaningful for them?